Ram Kesari and announced that I am going to withdraw support
to
Devagowda government. He did not even care for a moment as to what is going to happen to this government. This government is not a state government or a local government. This government is a government of India. What he is going to do? The same thing Rajiv Gandhi, what Rajiv Gandhi did with Chandrasekhar. He allowed Chandrasekhar to survive for 6 months, and on a petty issue, the 2 Haryana police constables were spying on his 10 Janpath residence. He pulled the plug and the government was gone. Chandrasekhar government was gone in the midst of budget session of Lok Sabha. The government could not present the budget. And remember the time, 1991, India was into deep economic crisis. We had to pledge our sovereign. And that time Rajiv Gandhi pulled the plug. So that is the track record of Congress and BJP so far as third front government or extending support to third front government is concerned.
Alright, and with that it's time for us to take a break in the program. Stay with us, we'll be back with the final segment of the show. To Public Forum, we are discussing the possibility of a third front emerging ahead of the general election. Ms. Chaudhary, I'll continue with you. A third front coming together ahead of the elections. As of now, it's ruled out, of course. What will be the implications for the Congress and the BJP?
You mean if it actually becomes a reality?
Right.
It would mean that BJP has plateaued and is not moving beyond a point. It would mean that the Congress has declined very substantially and that regional parties have got a fillip. And it would mean that regional parties are determined that we have to band together and somehow find a common leader, somehow find a common program, which is what has eluded them every time. Even at the time of the emergency, when they came together, beyond the emergency, they didn't have an alternative program. And I think the left has repeatedly pointed this out, that power cannot be the only glue that holds us together. We've got to go for the alternative programming, and that is what they have still not managed to, put together. But it would mean interesting kind of, but I want to make this one point. You see, this time it's not alternative policies that people seem to be looking. The people are not looking at BJP as an alternative. They are looking at Narendra Modi as an alternative. They are looking at Kejriwal in Delhi as an alternative. They are looking at Jagan Mohan Reddy in Andhra. People want now new faces, new leaders, and tough leaders, leaders who take on the establishment, talk tough, can at least give the impression that they can deal.
Very dangerous, because most of these people who are seen as decisive, I feel that they subordinate politics to administration or to management. They behave more like CEOs of a company than statesmen, statesperson, who have an idea of how a very complex country, very contradictory country ought to be taken together towards in a particular direction, or should hold together. What is happening is we are seeing managerial techniques, and this started with the Anna Hazare campaign, and this I find very, very specific in the Aam Aadmi Party. Set up this, set up that, set up a bureaucratic organization, do this, it's all from above. The whole idea that, you have to have political mobilization to even erode corruption, it just doesn't strike people. Or when you find Mr. Modi saying, I did this, I did that, we don't need a prime minister who will build roads. Civil engineers could do that. We need a prime minister who understands the contradictions, the pitfalls of this large country with such huge inequalities. And poverty is not the issue, inequality is the issue. And what struck me as being very contradictory in Mr. Modi's speech in Patna, he said, Constitution is what, the holy book? Hindus and Muslims must work together. Now, Constitution, if you abide by the Constitution, it doesn't speak of Hindus and Muslims, it speaks of citizens of India. And equality as equal citizens of India. The two notions are so contradictory, but he could get away with this, and everybody said, oh, he's talking about Hindu-Muslim unity. I frankly felt that we had gone back to the 1940, whatever we had heard of the 1947 partition of India with Hindu-Muslims. We have to start talking in terms of citizenship and the rights of citizens,
Right.
rather than identity politics, because this is again a soft option.